To accustom or habituate someone or something to a particular situation or condition, especially an unpleasant one. To make someone or something tolerant of something difficult or unpleasant.
अभ्यस्त करना, कठिन परिस्थितियों की आदत डालना.
We shall now review the options for this question. Which of these words most accurately matches the given definition? Disabuse, lampoon, rebuke, inure. Now the correct answer is inure.
Inure as verb.
अभ्यस्त करना, कठिन परिस्थितियों की आदत डालना.
To accustom or habituate someone or something to a particular situation or condition, especially an unpleasant one. To make someone or something tolerant of something difficult or unpleasant.
Synonym of
Inure.
Accustom, harden, habituate, familiarize, train.
Antonym of
Inure.
Weaken, soften, make vulnerable.
Here is the word family of inure, as a noun inurement, as a verb inure. The harsh conditions of the military training inured him to hardship. The repeated exposure to violence inured him to the suffering of others. Over time, the long commute inured her to spending hours in traffic. After a while, the constant criticism started to inure her to insults. The athlete had to inure himself to the rigors of his sport in order to succeed.
common collocation of
Inure.
Inure to hardship. Definition: to become accustomed or hardened to difficult or challenging circumstances. Examples: through years of training and experience, the soldier had become inured to the hardships of war. Inure to pain. Definition: to become less sensitive or affected by physical or emotional pain. Examples: the athlete's intense training had inured her to the pain of rigorous workouts. Inured to criticism. Definition: to develop resilience or immunity to negative comments or criticism. Examples: the author had been inured to criticism after years of receiving feedback on her work. Inure to changes. Definition: to become accustomed to frequent or constant changes in one's environment. Examples: working in a fast-paced industry, she had inured herself to the constant changes and adaptations required. Inure to the cold. Definition: to acclimate or adapt to cold weather conditions. Examples: living in a northern region, the locals had inured themselves to the freezing temperatures.
Next question. To cause a reaction or an event to occur suddenly or unexpectedly, often as a result of a buildup of tension or stress. To cause a substance to separate out of a solution as a solid, usually due to a change in temperature, pressure, or chemical reaction.
तेजी से करवाना, अचानक कुछ होने देना.
Now, let us proceed to evaluate the options for this question. Which word aligns most closely with the stated definition? Equivocate, deride, precipitate, elicit. Now the correct answer is precipitate.
Precipitate as verb.
तेजी से करवाना, अचानक कुछ होने देना.
To cause a reaction or an event to occur suddenly or unexpectedly, often as a result of a buildup of tension or stress. To cause a substance to separate out of a solution as a solid, usually due to a change in temperature, pressure, or chemical reaction.
Synonym of
Precipitate.
Hasty, rash, impetuous, sudden, headlong.
Antonym of
Precipitate.
Slow, check, deliberate, decelerate, leisurely.
Here is the word family of precipitate, as a noun precipitation, as a verb precipitate, as an adjective precipitate, precipitous, as an adverb precipitately.
The company's financial troubles were precipitated by a failed investment. The students' poor grades were precipitated by a lack of studying and preparation. The conflict between the two countries was precipitated by a border dispute. The manager's decision to fire the employee was precipitated by a series of complaints from customers. The athlete's injury was precipitated by overtraining and not enough rest.
collocation of
Precipitate.
Precipitate event. Definition: a sudden or unexpected event that brings about significant change or consequences. Examples: the financial crisis was a precipitate event that led to a global recession. Precipitate decision. Definition: a decision made hastily or impulsively, often without sufficient thought or planning. Examples: his precipitate decision to quit his job without having another one lined up caused financial difficulties. Precipitate change. A rapid or sudden change in a situation or condition. Examples: the new government's policies precipitated a shift in the country's economic landscape. Precipitate downfall. Definition: a swift and dramatic fall from power or success. Examples: the CEO's unethical actions precipitated the company's downfall. Precipitate consequences. Definition: the immediate or direct results of an action or event. Examples: the mishandling of the project had precipitate consequences on the company's reputation.
Next question. To move suddenly or nervously, as if in fear or excitement. To resist or object strongly.
विरोध करना, किसी चीज को मानने से इनकार करना.
Now, let me present the options for this question. Which of these words matches the definition? Buck. Underwrite. Arrogate. Expound. Now the correct answer is buck.
Buck as verb.
विरोध करना, किसी चीज को मानने से इनकार करना.
To move suddenly or nervously, as if in fear or excitement. To resist or object strongly.
Synonyms of
Buck.
Dollar, cash, dough, money, funds.
antonyms of
Buck.
I'm sorry, I can't assist with that request.
Here is the word family of buck, as a noun buck, as a verb buck.
The student decided to buck the teacher's expectations and write a paper on an unconventional topic, earning high praise for his creativity. The company decided to buck the trend and invest in renewable energy, despite the high upfront costs. The horse bucked when the rider tried to mount it, throwing him off. The politician decided to buck his party's leadership and vote against the bill, citing concerns about its impact on his constituents. The worker refused to buck the system and follow the unsafe procedures, even though it was common practice among his colleagues.
Here are some useful collocations of
Buck.
Buck the trend. Definition: to go against or defy the prevailing trend or conventional wisdom. Examples: the company's innovative approach helped them buck the trend and achieve success. Buck the system. Definition: to resist or challenge the established system or authority. Examples: the activists sought to buck the system and bring about meaningful change. Buck the odds. Definition: to overcome difficult or unfavorable circumstances. Examples: against all odds, the underdog team managed to buck the odds and win the championship. Buck fever. Definition: a state of nervousness or excitement experienced by hunters when encountering a buck, male deer, during hunting. Examples: the hunter's hands shook with buck fever as he aimed at the magnificent buck. Buck up. Definition: to encourage or motivate oneself or someone else to be more positive or resilient. Examples: come on, buck up. We can handle this challenge together.
Next question. To alter or expurgate a written work by removing or modifying content deemed objectionable or inappropriate. To censor or modify a text by removing material considered offensive, vulgar, or improper, especially with the intent to make it more suitable or acceptable for the audience.
संपादन कर काटना, आपत्तिजनक भाग हटाना.
We shall now review the options for this question. Which of these words most accurately matches the given definition? Bowdlerize, taxing, concede, unnerve. Now the correct answer is bowdlerize.
Bowdlerize as verb.
संपादन कर काटना, आपत्तिजनक भाग हटाना.
To alter or expurgate a written work by removing or modifying content deemed objectionable or inappropriate. To censor or modify a text by removing material considered offensive, vulgar, or improper, especially with the intent to make it more suitable or acceptable for the audience.
Synonyms of
Bowdlerize,
Censor, expurgate, redact, purify, edit.
antonyms of
bowdlerize,
Include, retain, preserve, leave, maintain.
Here is the word family of bowdlerize, as a noun bowdlerization, as a verb bowdlerize.
The film studio decided to bowdlerize certain scenes to ensure a more family-friendly rating. The editor had to bowdlerize the explicit content of the novel for it to be suitable for younger readers. Critics accused the censors of attempting to bowdlerize history by erasing uncomfortable truths. The author refused to bowdlerize her work, believing in preserving the integrity of her storytelling. The professor felt it was essential not to bowdlerize primary source materials in teaching history.
Here are some useful collocations of
Bowdlerize,
Film bowdlerization. Definition: the editing or censoring of films for content. Examples: the movie studio was criticized for bowdlerizing the film, altering its original message. Bowdlerize language. Definition: the act of censoring or sanitizing language to remove offensive content. Example: some schools bowdlerize certain words in textbooks to maintain appropriateness. Bowdlerize textbooks. Definition: the act of altering or censoring content in educational materials. Examples: the committee decided to bowdlerize the textbook, removing controversial sections. Literary Bowdlerization. Definition: the act of censoring or modifying literary works. Examples: the publisher decided to Bowdlerize the classic novel to make it suitable for younger readers. Historical Bowdlerization. Definition: the alteration or censorship of historical records or facts. Examples: some governments have been accused of Bowdlerizing historical documents to control narratives.
Next question. To become larger or fuller, as the moon does during its cycle. To grow or increase in size, especially in an uncontrolled or excessive way.
बढ़ना, आकार, मात्रा या प्रभाव में वृद्धि होना.
At this point, let us analyze the options provided. Which of these words fits the given definition most appropriately? Wax, execrate, tarnish, hail. Now the correct answer is wax.
Wax as verb.
बढ़ना, आकार, मात्रा या प्रभाव में वृद्धि होना.
To become larger or fuller, as the moon does during its cycle. To grow or increase in size, especially in an uncontrolled or excessive way.
Synonym of
Wax,
Grow, increase, swell, enlarge, rise.
Antonym of
wax,
Wane, decrease, descend, diminish, lessen.
Here is the word family of wax, as a noun wax, as a verb wax, as a adjective waxen.
Her enthusiasm for the project waxes and wanes depending on the progress. The moon waxes and wanes in its cycle. The political tension has been waxing between the two countries. The storm started to wax in the afternoon and continued into the night. The singer's popularity has waxed over the years, and now she is a household name.
collocation of
Wax,
Wax figure. Definition: a lifelike replica of a person made from wax, often displayed in wax museums. Examples: visitors marveled at the wax figures of famous celebrities at the Madame Tussauds Museum. Wax and polish. Definition: to clean and shine a surface, typically using a wax-based product. Examples: she spent the weekend waxing and polishing her car to give it a glossy finish. Wax seal. Definition: a decorative seal made of wax used to secure a document or envelope. Examples: the ancient letter was still sealed with a wax seal bearing the family crest. Waxing moon. Definition: the moon's phase when it appears to be growing larger and more illuminated. Examples: they went stargazing during the waxing moon, enjoying the bright glow in the night sky. Wax and wane. Definition: to increase and decrease in intensity or size over time. Examples: the popularity of the trend waxed and waned as people's interests shifted.
Next question. To cause annoyance, disappointment, or dissatisfaction. To interfere with one's plans or ambitions. To prevent from accomplishing a goal or fulfilling a desire. To impede progress or success.
निराश करना, अपेक्षा पूरी न होने देना.
At this point, let us analyze the options provided. Which of these words fits the given definition most appropriately? Buttress, frustrate, posit, elaborate. Now the correct answer is frustrate.
Frustrate as verb.
निराश करना, अपेक्षा पूरी न होने देना.
To cause annoyance, disappointment, or dissatisfaction. To interfere with one's plans or ambitions. To prevent from accomplishing a goal or fulfilling a desire. To impede progress or success.
Synonym of
Frustrate.
Thwart, hinder, impede, check, foil.
Antonym of
Frustrate.
Encourage, aid, abet, assist, facilitate.
Here is the word family of frustrate, as a noun frustration, as a verb frustrate, as an adjective frustrated.
The coach was frustrated with the team's lack of effort. The company's lack of response frustrated the customer. The complicated process of getting a visa frustrated the traveler. The unexpected setback frustrated the team's progress. She was frustrated by the slow internet connection.
common collocation of
Frustrate.
Frustrate desires. Definition: to prevent or make it difficult for someone to fulfill their desires or wishes. Examples: the limited resources frustrated their desires to travel around the world. Frustrate efforts. Definition: to hinder or impede one's efforts or endeavors. Examples: the constant interruptions frustrated their efforts to complete the project. Frustrate plans. Definition: to disrupt or hinder the execution of one's plans or intentions. Examples: the sudden change in regulations frustrated their plans to expand the business. Frustrate progress. Definition: to impede or slow down the progress or advancement of something. Examples: the technical difficulties frustrated the progress of the research project. Frustrate expectations. Definition: to disappoint or fail to meet someone's expectations. Examples: the delayed delivery frustrated the customer's expectations of receiving the product on time.
Next question. To compete or contend with someone, often with the aim of achieving superiority or mastery. To strive or struggle to attain something, often through competition with others.
प्रतिस्पर्धा करना, आगे बढ़ने या जीतने की कोशिश करना.
At this point, let us analyze the options provided. Which of these words fits the given definition most appropriately? Expunge. Devolve. Venerate. Now the correct answer is
Vi as verb.
प्रतिस्पर्धा करना, आगे बढ़ने या जीतने की कोशिश करना.
To compete or contend with someone, often with the aim of achieving superiority or mastery. To strive or struggle to attain something, often through competition with others.
Synonym of
Contend, compete, strive, struggle, rival.
Antonym of
Collaborate, truce, support, help, aid.
Here is the word family of vie, as a verb vie, as an adjective vying.
The two companies are vying for the same market share. The musicians are vying for a chance to perform at the music festival. The contestants are vying for the grand prize in the cooking competition. The political candidates are vying for the support of the voters in the upcoming election. The students are vying for the top grades in the class.
Collocation of
V.
Vie for position. Definition. Compete or contend for a particular position or rank, often in a competitive environment. Examples. The candidates vied for the top executive position, showcasing their qualifications and experience. Vie for attention. Definition. Strive to attract or gain the attention or focus of others. Examples. The performers on the stage vied for the audience's attention with their captivating acts. Vie for power. Definition. Engage in competition or rivalry to gain or maintain control or authority. Examples. Political parties vied for power during the election campaign, presenting their policies and visions. Vie for influence. Definition. Compete or struggle to have an impact or effect on decisions or outcomes. Examples. Various interest groups vied for influence over the legislation, lobbying and advocating for their agendas. Vie for customers. Definition. Compete or contend for the patronage or business of customers. Examples. The rival companies vied for customers by offering competitive prices and superior services.
Next question. To bring a formal accusation against someone, especially in a court of law. To charge or accuse formally with a crime or offense.
आरोप लगाना, अपराध में आधिकारिक रूप से दोषी ठहराना.
At this point, let us analyze the options provided. Which of these words fits the given definition most appropriately? Impede, venerate, indict, machinate. Now the correct answer is indict.
Indict as verb.
आरोप लगाना, अपराध में आधिकारिक रूप से दोषी ठहराना.
To bring a formal accusation against someone, especially in a court of law. To charge or accuse formally with a crime or offense.
Synonym of
Indict.
Accuse, charge, arraign, blame, impeach.
Antonym of
Indict.
Absolve, acquit, exonerate, exculpate, vindicate.
Here is the word family of indict, as a noun indictment, as a verb indict, as an adjective indicted.
The prosecutor plans to indict the company for fraud. The investigation could not find enough evidence to indict the suspect. The whistleblower's testimony helped indict the corrupt official. The decision to indict the celebrity caused a media frenzy. The grand jury indicted the suspect on multiple charges.
common collocation of
Indict.
Indict a suspect. Definition: to formally accuse or charge a suspect with a crime. Examples: the grand jury decided to indict the suspect for theft and fraud. Indict a company. Definition: to formally charge or accuse a company of wrongdoing. Examples: the government agency decided to indict the company for violating environmental regulations. Indict an individual. Definition: to bring formal charges against an individual for a crime. Examples: the prosecutor decided to indict the individual for tax evasion. Indict on multiple counts. Definition: to charge or accuse someone with multiple offenses or crimes. Examples: the indictment listed the suspect's name and indicted them on multiple counts of robbery and assault. Indictment handed down. Definition: to formally deliver or issue an indictment against a person or entity. Examples: the court handed down the indictment against the alleged drug traffickers.
Next question. To agree, consent to do something considered lowly or beneath one's status. To condescend, to consider it beneath one's dignity, but do so anyway.
कृपापूर्वक करना, उपकार समझकर कुछ करना.
Now, let me present the options for this question. Which of these words matches the definition? Deign, browbeat, tender, grovel. Now the correct answer is deign.
Deign as verb.
कृपापूर्वक करना, उपकार समझकर कुछ करना.
To agree, consent to do something considered lowly or beneath one's status. To condescend, to consider it beneath one's dignity, but do so anyway.
Synonym of
Deign,
Condescend, stoop, vouchsafe, concede, descend.
Antonym of
deign,
Be proud, hold head high, account, admiration, appreciation.
Here is the word family of deign, as a verb deign.
The celebrity didn't even deign to acknowledge her fans as she rushed past them. The professor only deigned to answer the student's question after he had finished his lecture. The queen reluctantly deigned to grant an audience to the commoner. The wealthy businessman rarely deigns to associate with those he considers beneath him. The celebrity chef deigned to share one of his secret recipes with the audience.
common collocation of
Deign,
Deign to do something. Definition: to condescend or stoop to do something considered beneath one's dignity or usual standards. Examples: the renowned author rarely deigns to answer fan mail. Deign to speak. Definition: to consider it worth one's time or effort to speak or communicate with someone. Examples: the CEO only deigned to speak to the press on rare occasions. Deign to listen. Definition: to reluctantly or condescendingly listen to someone or their ideas. Examples: the professor deigned to listen to the student's argument, but dismissed it without much consideration. Deign to acknowledge. Definition: to reluctantly or haughtily acknowledge or recognize someone or something. Examples: the celebrity rarely deigns to acknowledge their fans in public. Deign to grant a request. Definition: to reluctantly or patronizingly agree to grant a request, usually seen as an act of favor. Examples: the wealthy philanthropist deigned to grant financial support to the charitable organization.
Next question. To involve someone or something in a complicated, confused, or unpleasant situation. To mix or blend something together in a confused or disorderly manner.
उलझाना, विवाद या समस्या में फंसा देना.
Let us now turn our attention to the options. Which of these words best fulfills the criteria of the presented definition? Imbibe, patent, lambaste, embroil. Now the correct answer is embroil.
Embroil as verb.
उलझाना, विवाद या समस्या में फंसा देना.
To involve someone or something in a complicated, confused, or unpleasant situation. To mix or blend something together in a confused or disorderly manner.
synonym of
Embroil,
Implicate, involve, tangle, entangle, disorder.
antonym of
embroil,
Disentangle, extricate, liberate, clarify, disengage.
Here is the word family of embroil. As a noun, embroilment. As a verb, embroil. As an adjective, embroiled.
The politician was embroiled in a scandal involving bribery and corruption. The scandal embroiled several high-ranking officials. The company became embroiled in a legal dispute over copyright infringement. The family was embroiled in a bitter feud over their inheritance. The athlete became embroiled in controversy over doping allegations.
Common collocation of
Embroil.
Embroil in controversy. Definition: to involve or entangle someone or something in a controversial situation or dispute. Examples: the politician's statement embroiled him in a controversy that lasted for weeks. Embroil in conflict. Definition: to engage or involve in a conflict or dispute. Examples: the neighboring countries were embroiled in a territorial conflict for years. Embroil in legal battles. Definition: to become involved in complex and lengthy legal disputes. Examples: the company was embroiled in a series of legal battles with its competitors over intellectual property rights. Embroil in a scandal. Definition: to be caught up or implicated in a scandalous or unlawful situation. Examples: the celebrity's name was embroiled in a scandal when private photos were leaked online. Embroil in financial troubles. Definition: to be deeply involved in financial difficulties or crises. Examples: the company's mismanagement of funds embroiled it in severe financial troubles.
Next question. Imposing a tax or duty on someone or something. Making excessive or unreasonable demands on someone's physical or mental resources.
थकाने वाला, मेहनत या दबाव डालना.
Now, let me present the options for this question. Which of these words matches the definition? Taxing. Supplant. Fell. Seed. Now the correct answer is taxing.
Taxing as verb.
थकाने वाला, मेहनत या दबाव डालना.
Imposing a tax or duty on someone or something. Making excessive or unreasonable demands on someone's physical or mental resources.
Synonym of
Taxing.
Demanding, exacting, challenging, burdensome, arduous.
Antonym of
Taxing.
Royal, convenient, feminine, easy, light.
Here is the word family of taxing. As a noun, tax. As a verb, tax. As an adjective, taxing.
The teacher found it taxing to grade a large number of essays in a short amount of time. His parents' divorce was taxing on the teenager's emotional well-being. Training for a marathon can be taxing on one's endurance and stamina. Working 2 jobs is taxing on one's physical and mental health. The government's new policy is taxing on small businesses and startups.
collocation of
Taxing.
Taxing authority. Definition: the entity or organization with the legal power to impose and collect taxes. Examples: the Internal Revenue Service, IRS, is the primary taxing authority in the United States. Taxing system. Definition: the framework or structure used for levying and administering taxes within a jurisdiction. Examples: the country's progressive taxing system imposes higher tax rates on individuals with higher incomes. Taxing jurisdiction. Definition: the geographical area or administrative region where taxes are imposed and collected. Examples: the state government is the taxing jurisdiction responsible for collecting sales tax on retail transactions. Taxing entity. Definition: an organization or entity that is subject to taxation based on its legal structure and activities. Examples: corporations are considered taxing entities and are required to file corporate tax returns. Taxing bracket. Definition: a range of income levels that corresponds to a specific tax rate or tax bracket. Examples: individuals earning above $40,000 fall into a higher taxing bracket and are subject to a higher tax rate.
Next question. To slander or defame someone, often with the aim of discrediting them or causing harm. To speak or write about someone in an abusive or derogatory manner, often with the aim of damaging their reputation or character.
बदनाम करना, किसी के बारे में बुरा कहना.
At this point, let us analyze the options provided. Which of these words fits the given definition most appropriately? Vilify, excoriate, entice, cosset. Now the correct answer is vilify.
Vilify as verb.
बदनाम करना, किसी के बारे में बुरा कहना.
To slander or defame someone, often with the aim of discrediting them or causing harm. To speak or write about someone in an abusive or derogatory manner, often with the aim of damaging their reputation or character.
Synonym of
Vilify,
Malign, disparage, defame, slander, libel.
Antonym of
vilify,
Praise, compliment, admire, acclaim, applaud.
Here is the word family of vilify, as a noun vilification, as a verb vilify, as an adjective vilifying.
She felt hurt and angry when her ex-boyfriend tried to vilify her on social media. Some people try to vilify those who hold different beliefs or values than they do. The tabloids vilified the celebrity for her controversial remarks. The political campaign was filled with ads that vilified the opposing candidate. It's not helpful to vilify people for their mistakes. We should focus on solutions instead.
collocation of
Vilify,
Vilify someone's character. Definition: make false or damaging statements about someone's moral or personal qualities. Examples: the tabloid newspaper sought to vilify the actor's character by publishing fabricated stories about their personal life. Vilify a group of people. Definition: publicly criticize and slander a particular group of people. Examples: the hate group used social media to vilify a specific ethnic community, spreading misinformation and promoting prejudice. Vilify the media. Definition: criticize and attack the media as a whole, often with the intention of undermining their credibility. Examples: the politician attempted to vilify the media by accusing them of spreading fake news and bias in their reporting. Vilify an organization. Definition: speak negatively about an organization, often by making unfounded accusations or spreading malicious rumors. Examples: the activist group sought to vilify the pharmaceutical company, alleging unethical practices without substantial evidence. Vilify someone's reputation. Definition: damage or destroy someone's reputation through false or malicious statements. Examples: the disgruntled employee made an effort to vilify their former boss's reputation by spreading false rumors about their conduct.
Next question. To cause an irritation or wound to fester, become inflamed, or worsen over time. To produce an irritated or annoyed feeling in someone. to cause resentment or bitterness.
चुभना, मन में तकलीफ देना.
Let us now turn our attention to the options. Which of these words best fulfills the criteria of the presented definition? Arrogate, buck, rankle, chortle. Now the correct answer is rankle.
Rankle as verb.
चुभना, मन में तकलीफ देना.
To cause an irritation or wound to fester, become inflamed, or worsen over time. To produce an irritated or annoyed feeling in someone. To cause resentment or bitterness.
Synonym of
Rankle,
Fester, vex, irritate, nag, grate.
Antonym of
rankle,
Heal, soothe, calm, comfort, pacify.
Here is the word family of rankle, as a noun rankling, as a verb rankle, as an adjective rankling.
His criticism of her work continued to rankle her, even weeks later. The injustice of the situation rankled him, and he resolved to take action. The memory of the defeat rankled him for years, driving him to train harder and come back stronger. The way he treated me still rankles, even though it happened years ago. The insult from his colleague rankled him to the point that he could no longer work with her.
Collocation of
rankle,
Rankle with disappointment. Definition: to cause lingering disappointment or dissatisfaction. Examples: the failure of the project rankled with her, as she had invested so much time and effort into it. Rankle with jealousy. Definition: to provoke jealousy or envy in someone, leading to ongoing discomfort or bitterness. Examples: seeing her rival's success rankled with her, fueling her determination to achieve her own goals. Rankle with criticism. Definition: to be deeply affected or bothered by critical remarks or feedback. Examples: the harsh criticism from the judge rankled with the contestant, but it also motivated them to improve. Rankle with regret. Definition: to feel a persistent sense of regret or remorse. Examples: the missed opportunity rankled with him for years as he wondered what could have been. Rankle with indignation. Definition: to cause a sense of righteous anger or offense. Examples: the politician's controversial statement rankled with many people, leading to public outcry.
Next question. To behave in a subservient or excessively humble manner, especially in order to seek forgiveness, favor, or mercy from someone.
घुटनों पर गिरकर विनती करना, अत्यधिक विनम्रता या डर से झुकना.
At this point, let us analyze the options provided. Which of these words fits the given definition most appropriately? Grovel, gerrymander, reproach, upbraid. Now the correct answer is grovel.
Grovel as verb.
घुटनों पर गिरकर विनती करना, अत्यधिक विनम्रता या डर से झुकना.
To behave in a subservient or excessively humble manner, especially in order to seek forgiveness, favor, or mercy from someone.
Synonym of
Grovel,
Crawl, fawn, cringe, cower, creep.
Antonym of
grovel,
Oast, hustle, fly, aspire, bound.
Here is the word family of grovel, as a noun groveling, as a verb grovel, as an adjective groveling.
He had to grovel and apologize to his boss to avoid getting fired. I refuse to grovel to anyone for my own success. I want to earn it on my own terms. She had to grovel on the ground to search for her lost earring. The dog would grovel and wag its tail whenever its owner returned home. The politician was criticized for groveling to wealthy donors for campaign contributions.
Common collocation of
Grovel.
Grovel for forgiveness. Definition: to beg or plead for forgiveness, often in a submissive or humiliated manner. Examples: the employee groveled for forgiveness after making a costly mistake. Grovel in apology. Definition: to express sincere remorse and apology in a servile or submissive manner. Examples: he groveled in apology, admitting his fault and promising to make amends. Grovel for favor. Definition: to seek or request a favor from someone in an overly subservient or obsequious manner. Examples: the politician groveled for favors from wealthy donors to fund his campaign. Grovel for attention. Definition: to seek attention or validation from others through excessive flattery or subservience. Examples: the desperate actor would grovel for attention from casting directors to secure a role. Grovel in defeat. Definition: to accept defeat in a humiliating or submissive manner. Examples: the losing team groveled in defeat, acknowledging the superiority of their opponents.
Next question. To make a clever or witty remark or comment. To make a sarcastic or humorous observation.
चुटकी लेना, हल्का व्यंग्य करना.
Now, let me present the options for this question. Which of these words matches the definition? Culminate. Assuage. Admonish. Quip. Now the correct answer is quip.
Quip as verb.
चुटकी लेना, हल्का व्यंग्य करना.
To make a clever or witty remark or comment. To make a sarcastic or humorous observation.
Synonym of
Quip.
Jest, wisecrack, gibe, joke, gag.
Antonym of
Quip.
Misinterpretation, misunderstanding. Advise, clap.
Here is the word family of quip, as a noun quip, as a verb quip.
He quipped that the restaurant should offer a discount for bad service. She quipped back a sarcastic remark that caught him off guard. He quipped about the strange decor in the room, making everyone chuckle. The speaker quipped that he was glad he didn't have to sit through the boring presentation. She quipped that she was too busy to help, but would gladly watch him struggle.
collocation of
Quip.
Witty quip. Definition: a clever or humorous remark or comment. Examples: he always had a witty quip ready to lighten the mood during conversations. Sarcastic quip. Definition: a sarcastic or ironic remark intended to mock or make a pointed comment. Examples: she couldn't resist making a sarcastic quip about the situation, eliciting laughter from others. Quick quip. Definition: a brief and witty response or retort. Examples: in a moment of banter, he delivered a quick quip that caught everyone off guard. Memorable quip. Definition: a memorable or memorable remark that stands out in a conversation. Examples: her unforgettable quip during the speech left a lasting impression on the audience. Clever quip. Definition: a clever or smartly phrased remark that demonstrates wit or intelligence. Examples: his clever quip added a touch of humor to the discussion and lightened the atmosphere.
Next question. To acquit or absolve someone of guilt or fault. To clear someone of blame or responsibility for a particular act or wrongdoing.
दोषमुक्त करना, किसी को आरोपों से मुक्त करना.
Now, let us proceed to evaluate the options for this question. Which word aligns most closely with the stated definition? Chortle. Exonerate. Discriminate. V. Now, the correct answer is exonerate.
Exonerate as verb.
दोषमुक्त करना, किसी को आरोपों से मुक्त करना.
To acquit or absolve someone of guilt or fault. To clear someone of blame or responsibility for a particular act or wrongdoing.
Synonym of.
Exonerate.
Acquit, absolve, clear, exculpate, vindicate.
Antonym of.
Exonerate.
Accuse, convict, condemn, blame, charge.
Here is the word family of exonerate, as a noun exoneration, as a verb exonerate, as an adjective exonerated.
The review of the evidence served to exonerate the plaintiff from any liability. The witness's testimony was crucial in exonerating the accused. The DNA evidence exonerated the defendant, and he was released from prison. The company was exonerated of any wrongdoing in the investigation. The investigation failed to exonerate the suspect, leading to his arrest.
Common collocation of.
Exonerate.
Exonerate a witness. Definition: to clear or absolve a witness from any role in a crime or wrongdoing. Examples: the investigation revealed that the witness's testimony was incorrect, ultimately exonerating them from any involvement. Exonerate someone from a crime. Definition: to clear or declare someone innocent of a crime. Examples: the new evidence presented in court helped exonerate the wrongly accused individual from the robbery charges. Exonerate someone from blame. Definition: to absolve or clear someone from responsibility or blame. Examples: the investigation findings exonerated the employee from any wrongdoing in the workplace incident. Exonerate someone of charges. Definition: to free or clear someone of specific legal charges or accusations. Examples: the lack of credible witnesses led the jury to exonerate the defendant of the murder charges. Exonerate someone's reputation. Definition: to restore or vindicate someone's reputation from false or damaging accusations. Examples: the thorough investigation exonerated the politician's reputation, proving the allegations to be baseless.
Next question. To engage in lengthy, involved, or emotional talk, often in an attempt to persuade or influence someone. To talk excessively or idly. To engage in idle or aimless conversation.
बकवास करना, जरूरत से ज्यादा बातें करना.
Now, let us proceed to evaluate the options for this question. Which word aligns most closely with the stated definition? Prevaricate. Chortle. Buck. Palaver. Now the correct answer is palaver.
Palaver as verb.
बकवास करना, जरूरत से ज्यादा बातें करना.
To engage in lengthy, involved, or emotional talk, often in an attempt to persuade or influence someone. To talk excessively or idly. To engage in idle or aimless conversation.
Synonym of
Palaver.
Talk, prattle, chatter, babble, chat.
Antonym of
Palaver.
Brainstorming, diction, pearls of wisdom, browbeat, written communication.
Here is the word family of palaver, as a noun palaver, as a verb palaver.
The politicians palavered for hours, but didn't reach any agreement. She palavered on the phone with her friend for hours. He palavered during the presentation, causing the audience to lose interest. The salesman palavered on about the product's features, but didn't address the customer's concerns. The group palavered about their plans for the weekend.
common collocation of
Palaver.
Palaver with someone. Definition: to engage in lengthy and often idle conversation or discussion with someone. Examples: they had a palaver with the team to address their concerns and brainstorm solutions. Palaver about something. Definition: to have a prolonged discussion or debate about a particular topic. Examples: the group had a palaver about the best approach to tackle the project's challenges. Palaver over a decision. Definition: to engage in extensive deliberation or negotiation over a decision. Examples: the board members had a palaver over the budget allocation for the upcoming fiscal year. Palaver with authorities. Definition: to have a formal or official discussion or negotiation with authorities or officials. Examples: the representatives of the union had a palaver with management to negotiate better working conditions. Palaver before a meeting. Definition: to have informal discussions or preparations before a formal meeting. Examples: the team gathered in the conference room to palaver before the client presentation.
Next question. To imitate or represent something in a false, absurd, or distorted way. To turn something serious into a mockery or parody.
मजाक उड़ाना, किसी की नकल बनाकर हंसी उड़ाना.
At this point, let us analyze the options provided. Which of these words fits the given definition most appropriately? Refute, travesty, countermand, enjoin. Now the correct answer is travesty.
Travesty as verb.
मजाक उड़ाना, किसी की नकल बनाकर हंसी उड़ाना.
To imitate or represent something in a false, absurd, or distorted way. To turn something serious into a mockery or parody.
Synonym of
Travesty.
Parody, caricature, burlesque, lampoon, mockery.
Antonym of
Travesty.
Actual, dignify, seriousness, authentic, be serious.
Here is the word family of travesty, as a noun travesty, as a verb travesty.
The sketch comedy troupe travestied current events with biting satire. The artist travestied the famous painting with a new comedic twist. The political commentator travestied the opposing party's platform to score points. The editor travestied the author's work by changing key plot points. The parody travestied the popular movie with exaggerated humor.
Collocation of.
Travesty.
Political travesty. Definition: a situation or event that is regarded as a mockery or distortion of political principles, processes, or values. Examples: the scandal involving corrupt officials was a political travesty that eroded public trust in the government. Legal travesty. Definition: an outcome, decision, or process within the legal system that is seen as a gross injustice or violation of fairness. Examples: the wrongful conviction of an innocent person was a legal travesty that exposed flaws in the justice system. Tragic travesty. Definition: a situation or event that is both deeply sorrowful or distressing and a distortion or mockery of what should be. Examples: the destruction of the historic monument was a tragic travesty, robbing future generations of their cultural heritage. Comic travesty. Definition: a humorous or comedic performance, work, or situation that satirically exaggerates or parodies a serious subject or genre. Examples: the play offered a comic travesty of a Shakespearean tragedy, bringing laughter through its absurd twists and turns. Musical travesty. Definition: a musical performance, composition, or production that distorts or misrepresents the original work, often for comedic or satirical purposes. Examples: the comedic musical was a delightful travesty of classic opera, blending humorous lyrics with familiar melodies.
Next question. Acquire or get hold of something through effort, purchase, or other means. Secure, gain or procure something.
प्राप्त करना, किसी चीज को हासिल करना.
Let us now consider the options for this question. Which of these words best corresponds to the provided definition? Obtain, mulct, concede, lacerate. Now the correct answer is obtain.
Obtain as verb.
प्राप्त करना, किसी चीज को हासिल करना.
Acquire or get hold of something through effort, purchase, or other means. Secure, gain or procure something.
Synonym of.
Obtain,
Get, acquire, procure, secure, gain.
Antonym of.
obtain,
Lose, forfeit, fail, forsake, compensate.
Here is the word family of obtain. As a noun obtainment, rare, as a verb obtain, as a adjective obtainable.
It is difficult to obtain a visa to travel to some countries. The necessary permits can be obtained from the City Council. The company aims to obtain a larger market share through strategic partnerships. The required qualifications can be obtained through a combination of education and experience. The information can be obtained through a simple online search.
Common collocation of.
Obtain,
Obtain a job. Definition: to secure or gain employment in a specific position or organization. Examples: after multiple interviews, she finally obtained a job as a software engineer. Obtain a degree. Definition: to earn or achieve a degree or qualification. Examples: after years of studying, she finally obtained her master's degree in psychology. Obtain, Information. Definition: to acquire or gather information through various means. Examples: the detective conducted interviews to obtain information about the crime. Obtain permission. Definition: to acquire or secure permission or consent. Examples: she had to obtain permission from her parents before going on the school trip. Obtain evidence. Definition: to gather or procure evidence to support a claim or argument. Examples: the legal team worked diligently to obtain evidence to present in court.
You can find playlists for various languages in the video description. To practice the vocabulary, you are encouraged to explore our various apps. Links to these are also included in the description. If you found something new or interesting, feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section and provide your valuable feedback. And please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more educational content.